Video store classics. These are the movies that bombed in theaters. The marketing teams didn't know what to do with them. Critics shrugged. But then something magical happened. They hit the shelves. And we, the rental generation, found them. We passed the word, not through a tweet, but in the school cafeteria. You have to see this. We are celebrating the culture of discovery, the thrill of the staff pick sticker, the agony of seeing the movie you wanted, picking up the box, and realizing the rental cassette was already gone. Let's rewind the tape and rank these 10 cult legends on the star chart.
Big Trouble in Little China. We have to start with the king of what is this movie? John Carpenter, Kurt Russell. This should have been a slam dunk, but in 1986, audiences were confused. Is it a martial arts movie? A comedy? A ghost story? The answer, of course, is yes, all of the above. The genius of this movie, which flew over everyone's heads at the time, is the character dynamic. Jack Burton, Kurt Russell, thinks he is the hero. He talks like the hero, he has the jawline of the hero, but he isn't. He's a sidekick. He's the comic relief. Wang Chi is the actual hero doing all the cool fighting, while Jack is just trying to find his truck and not get killed. It's all in the reflexes. On VHS, this movie found its true home. It's quotable, it's colorful, and Lo Pan is a top-tier villain. I'm giving Big Trouble in Little China 4 stars. The Princess Bride, 1987. I know this is a beloved classic now, but we have to remember, this movie flopped. The marketing department had a meltdown. They didn't know how to sell it. Was it a romance movie? A swashbuckler? A comedy? Adults thought it was for kids. Kids thought it was a bunch of romantic stuff. Nobody went. Then it hit VHS. This is the holy grail of word of mouth. This is the movie your friend quoted incessantly until you finally watched it just to get them to shut up. Inconceivable! My name is Inigo Montoya! It works because it operates on 2 levels. As a kid, you watch it for the sword fight and the ROUSs. As an adult, you watch it for the wit and the satire. I'm a wrestling fan, and one of the reasons I watched it was to see Andre the Giant. It captures the feeling of having a story read to you. It's cozy. The Princess Bride gets 5 stars. As you wish. This one is tricky. When this hit theaters, people hated it. They expected Han Solo shooting lasers. They got a depressed Harrison Ford eating noodles in the rain. It was slow, dark, and philosophical. But on home video, something shifted. The atmosphere of this movie is suffocating in the best way. The Vangelis score, the neon lights, the rain. It practically invented the cyberpunk aesthetic. However, we have to acknowledge that the version most of us rented in the 80s was the theatrical cut. The one with the terrible voiceover where Ford explains everything like he's reading a grocery list. It took years for the director's cut to fix it, but even the flawed version was mesmerizing. It's a masterpiece of production design, but the pacing can be a struggle if you aren't in the right mindset. I'm giving Blade Runner 4 stars. It's art, but it's heavy.
Highlander. Let's talk about a movie that is a complete mess, but we love it anyway. Highlander. There can be only one, except for the 4 terrible sequels, but we ignore those. This movie is the definition of concept over execution. Immortals fighting with swords in modern-day New York City to win the prize, plus a soundtrack by Queen. On paper, it's the coolest thing ever. On screen, it's weird. Christopher Lambert is a Frenchman playing a Scotsman. Sean Connery is a Scotsman playing a Spaniard, who is actually Egyptian. The lore makes no sense. But in the video store era, this box art called to us. The trench coat, the katana, the lightning. It has a gritty music video aesthetic that screams 1980s. The Kurgan is a genuinely terrifying villain. It's a movie that feels better in your memory than it actually is. I'm giving Highlander 3 stars. It's got the magic, but it's a little rusty.
Roadhouse, 1989. Patrick Swayze is Dalton, a philosopher bouncer who reads Nietzsche and rips people's throats out. Critics destroyed this movie. They called it mindless trash. And they were right, but that's why it's perfect. This is the ultimate Friday night rental when you just want to see stuff break. The plot is basically a Western. A stranger comes to town to clean up the saloon and fight the rich tycoon. It features Sam Elliott with the greatest hair and mustache in cinema history. It features a monster truck crushing a car dealership for no reason. Is it a good movie? No, it's ridiculous. But is it entertaining? It's 100% pure adrenaline and hair gel. They somehow make Swayze look much bigger size-wise than he really is compared to the guys he fights with, but you don't notice it. I'm giving Roadhouse 3 stars.
Here is a comedy that was way ahead of its time. Based on the board game, this should have been terrible. In theaters, they tried a gimmick where different theaters got different endings. It confused people. It flopped. But when it hit home video and eventually TV, they stitched all 3 endings together, and suddenly it worked. The cast is a murderer's row of talent. Tim Curry, Madeline Kahn, Christopher Lloyd. The dialogue is lightning fast. It's screwball comedy at its finest. It's one of those movies that gets funnier the more you watch it. You catch jokes in the background you missed the first time. It's a masterclass in ensemble acting. Disappointed we never got a remake of this. I'm giving Clue 4 stars. It's a mystery why this wasn't a hit.
Tremors, 1990. Let's jump to the very edge of the decade. The creature feature was supposed to be dead. CGI was just around the corner. Then came Tremors. The pitch is simple. Jaws, but in the dirt. Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward versus giant subterranean worms. It barely made a blip in theaters, but on the video rental shelf, the cover art alone, that giant graboid bursting out of the ground, guaranteed a rental. What makes this a classic isn't just the monsters, it's the chemistry. Valentine and Earl are just 2 guys trying to get by. They aren't scientists or soldiers, they're handymen. The concept of the floor is lava, the movie, is executed perfectly. It's lean, it's funny without being a parody. It respects the audience. I've rewatched this movie way more times than I ever thought I would have. I'm giving Tremors 4 stars. It's perfection in its simplicity.
One of the biggest box office tragedies of all time. John Carpenter returns to the list. People wanted a friendly alien who ate Reese's Pieces. They did not want a shape-shifting nightmare that tore dogs apart. Critics hated it. They called it instant junk. Fast forward 5 years. You're in the horror section, you pick this up. You take it home, turn off the lights, and you are traumatized. The practical effects by Rob Bottin are still the gold standard today. The paranoia is palpable. It's a bottle episode movie where the characters are trapped, cold, and distrustful. This movie proved that the box office knows nothing. It is a masterpiece of tension. The ending is bleak and ambiguous, something Hollywood is terrified of doing today. For the video store generation, this was a rite of passage. If you could handle The Thing, you could handle anything. I sometimes think about this movie when you hear about ice at the poles melting. What if there is something there just waiting for us to discover it? Chills. I'm giving The Thing 5 stars. It is flawless horror.
We have to fast forward to the very end of the video store era. Mike Judge, the guy who gave us Beavis and Butthead. This movie bombed harder than a printer falling out of a window. The marketing was terrible. The poster was just a guy covered in Post-it notes. It looked like a bad sitcom. Nobody went to see it. But then it hit the rental shelves, and something incredible happened. Every single person who had a job, hated their job, or knew someone who hated their job rented this movie. It captures the soul-crushing reality of the cubicle farm perfectly. The fluorescent lights, the static electricity, the birthday cake ratio. Gary Cole as Bill Lumbergh is the greatest villain since Darth Vader. Yeah, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. It is the most relatable movie ever made. The scene where they take the fax machine into the field and beat it to death with baseball bats while Still by the Ghetto Boys plays, that is pure catharsis. It is a religious experience. It didn't just become a cult classic, it is a perfect comedy. I'm giving Office Space 5 stars.
All right, let's look at the shelf. 5 stars. The Princess Bride, The Thing, Office Space. 4 stars.
Big Trouble in Little China, Blade Runner, Clue, Tremors. 3 stars, Highlander, Roadhouse. In the comments section, what was the movie you rented constantly? The one you paid so many late fees on, you basically bought it twice. Wait a second. There are only 9 movies in this list. What is going on? Did you forget to add it? No, that's because one of the movies never made it, and you'll have to look for it in a future video. Thanks for watching.